So now we're going to have a look at solving some exponential equations. We talked about the link between exponentials and logarithms, right? We talked about the link between the log over here and the exponential form over here. Remember we did 100 equals 10 squared, and here it was 2 equals base 10 of 100. Remember that connection? So we're going to look just on this side right now, the exponential side without logarithms, okay? And the example here, and it's 2 to the 7x equals 64. So let's look at that one. How did they come about that? Okay? Well, what we said was, okay, I can see a connection between 2 and 64, and if I see it, okay, I can see that this has a base of 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 6 times 2 to the 6 equals 2 to the 7x, okay? So that's kind of nice. And then what we do is something called ignoring the bases. We can't cancel the bases out, but we can ignore them. We can say, since this left side is equal to the right side, and since the bases are the same, the only way it's true would be is if this exponent was equal to this exponent. That's the only way that's true, right? 2 to the 7x equals 2 to the 6 only if 7x equals 6, because we know the bases are the same. So we can ignore the bases of 2, say 7x equals 6, divide this by 7, divide that by 7, and x equals 6 over 7. Okay? So it's kind of slick, but there are two problems with it. One, we need to recognize that we can write this as 2 to the exponent 6. And two, what if we used a different number like 68 or 65? I can't do it 2 to the exponent anything. So this approach is very limiting, okay? But we are going to look at this approach for a slide or two, but it's a very limiting approach, okay? It's a less limiting approach. Let's use a different color here. It's a less limiting approach if I would say, all right, this log thing, I know that the exponent goes here, log, I know that the base goes here, and I know that the answer goes there, okay? And if I did that, I wouldn't have to say, well, is 64 2 to something? I would get rid of all of that, and I could quickly, take this and divide it by 7, and you can say, yeah, that looks ugly. Well, it kind of does, but the nice thing is, all that is now is calculator work to get that answer. We're going to end up with the same answer here, but it's just calculator work. There's nothing to try and figure out to get to the answer. We'll talk a little more about this soon, but we are going to spend a couple slides seeing how these connect to try and make the connections. We'll see you next slide.